In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a square picnic table. Before we get into the build, I just want to talk a little bit about some of the design features and the functionality of this table. So I love the square design because it gives you the ability to sit at a corner to somebody, which you're a little bit closer, so conversation doesn't have to be as loud, and it's a little bit more intimate, and it's just cozier to sit around something instead of all in a line. This picnic table also may work better in certain yards where a square would be more desirable than a rectangle. This picnic table just has 4 points that sit on the ground, so you can elevate it up on stepping stones to protect the bottom edges and level it out. This picnic table is also really easy to build. I know it looks complicated, but just trust me on this. This is one of the fastest picnic tables that I have ever built. We also love the modern design. It's just kind of a fresh new take on it. So we're really excited to share these plans with you and get them out there. So without further ado, let's get to building it. The tabletop for this picnic table is 4 foot by 4 foot. Each bench is 4 foot long. It can comfortably sit 4 adults, but you could also fit 8 people on it if they're smaller or children. This table is made all out of 2x6 and 2x4 lumber. I cut everything with a compound miter saw. You could also use a circular saw or a chop saw. It's nice to cut things as you go just so that you're not dealing with a huge pile of lumber. These are the screws I'm using. They're 2.5 inches long with a star bit and are self-tapping, exterior rated. I'm using 4 screws per leg, just joining the 2x6 to the 2x4 to create 4 legs. I'm keeping the outside edges flush, and I'm putting the nicer side of my 2x boards on the inside. Once I got the legs done, I'm going to start attaching the aprons. After I built this, I felt like there was a better way of attaching the aprons. You'll see that better way in the plans that are linked in the description. It's nice to work on a tabletop. You'll need a tabletop about 4 feet by 4 feet to work on. A slight angling of the screws will create more structure and help your table not develop a wobble over time. I marked all the legs 16.5 inches from the bottom. Don't worry about writing any of this down. The free plans show all of these dimensions. Now I'm going to build the seat supports first. I attach the 2 seat boards together. And then I cut some blocks from scrap material 13 inches long, spaced the seat supports up on those blocks, and then just screw right into the legs. I added quite a few screws here for increased strength. Now I'm going to add the angled support under the seats. What I found worked after doing all 8 of these is to first do the angled screw right underneath the seat support and then do the remaining screws at the bottom of the leg. Now I'm going to add the tabletop boards. The first thing I'm going to do is adjust the aprons for square. So I just take 2 measurements of the opposite diagonals and then make sure it's square. Then I took the remainder of the 2x6 boards and basically cut them in half for the tabletop. And now I'm just screwing the tabletop boards on. The outside tabletop boards are structural, so I'm adding quite a bit of screws to create strength in the table. From there, I can just evenly space the remaining of the boards, the nicest side of the board facing upward. Now it's time for the seats. I just cut more 2x6s in half, laid those out, evenly spaced the overhangs on the ends, and then screwed it all down.
To increase comfort and the amount of space that this picnic table takes up, I rounded the edge of the seat so there's no sharp point sticking out that could scratch you or make you subconsciously avoid walking too close to the table. I recommend pre-staining or pre-painting all of your boards before you cut. I didn't do that because my picnic table was a prototype and I was figuring out what angles work, if it was going to be comfortable and all those things. But after building it, it was very hard to paint even with a spray system. I used a water-based, semi-transparent, penetrating stain in a chocolate color that's available off the shelf. We simply sprayed it. We sprayed 3 coats. You'll want to spray the underside as well.
All right, it's your turn. The free plans are linked in the description. Click on over and download those and get this built. Please share a photo when you're done. We love seeing your projects. We'll see you next week with a brand new plan.